like trying to get to the bottom of it. Oh, come on, PLC. I was using a line. Oh, come on. Oh, good. I had VLC player just like pop up into my vision. And I'm like, oh shit. Last time it did that, my line went flying. That's close enough. I don't mind a little bump there, actually. But yeah, I'm hoping that maybe that sort of stuff helps a bit with dreams. Like in mine, because I'm a lucid dreamer, as soon as I realize I'm having a dream, which might simply be a matter of realizing that something is absurd and unrealistic. And then sometimes it's just a matter of um, I've gone back into the dream and therefore I'm aware that I'm dreaming. Like then I can like take control of it generally. So you can give advice because you can't give advice because you're not a psychologist. I'm not either, but funny enough, I was like, one of the job careers that I'm most adept to is supposed to be a psychologist. I chose not to go down that road because I know there's a lot of trauma that people have in the world that I can't possibly understand, and I come from a background of too much. Um, I wouldn't say specifically prejudice, but I was brought up in a household that was not very open minded in a great many sense. So there's a lot of things that I cannot understand, even if I wanted to. I wouldn't have that like natural um, logic behind it, unfortunately, which did make it interesting for me to choose to do streaming because I also like the biggest thing for me is I want to ask questions and learn stuff about people because I literally don't understand and it helps me to understand and learn. And I feel like she needs like a little bit here, maybe. It's either that or it's like here. I don't know. That just kind of makes it look not quite right. Hey, I know. I like her like little thing there. Um, all right, I think I've got all of her hair and a ribbon. Hey, Azula. Yes, the window is open and you might see birdies. You're very judgmental. Yeah, I have nothing against people that like pass judgment either quickly or sternly. That is the like kind of thing that I grew up with. So to me, it's normal. Um, I find it very fascinating when I come across people that are like welcoming and open minded and stuff. Like that's the biggest thing I've tried to change about myself from my 20s and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, I came from this. It's not what I want. So what do I do to change? And it was just a matter of listening and learning and asking questions and stuff like that and just waiting and trying not to form a judgment as soon as somebody opens their mouth. Oh man, I needed that water so bad. Yes, Azula. That little Betty's there for you. I hear so many people say that. Unfortunately, the only way to change at that age is basically to have something horrible happen, and I don't want that to happen to you, so don't change, please. Um, oh wow. This explains a lot more of the conversations we've had. It explains so much more. um, Not in a bad way. It's just interesting. It's enlightening. Um, yeah. No, I'm only in my well, about to be my mid 30s in 2 weeks from now to the day 20th. Yeah. So I've missed a lot of things to learn and I still have a lot more to learn, but at the same time I have learnt a great deal as well. Yeah, I could see that. I understand that cuz like the funniest thing I find is like when I was 4, right? So up until I was 5 years old, I was brought up in extremely kind of racist household, right? Cuz around where I lived that was kind of what you did. And I do not agree with it, but it's not really like it wasn't really um my choice to grow up in that kind of household. And as soon as I turned 5, literally almost to the dot, um, we were no longer allowed to be in any capacity racist. And it was jarring because it made no sense to me as a 5-year-old kid. But at the same time, my family was still raceless behind closed doors and private and stuff like that. So I'm like, it still didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was kind of like, no, you shouldn't do that, but we're gonna still do it. And I'm like, I don't understand. But then the funny thing is, like, at the same time, everybody had issues with, the gays and trans people and however you want to say that. But at the same time, like now 20 years later, I've gone through a time frame where that's completely changed again too. And I think that's fucking awesome. Like, and then of course now we've got like, you know, um what is it? We've got 2 recessions, we've had pandemics, all sorts of shit go on. So I've really had the fucking experience going on for me as well. Your dad, bless his soul, grew up in the days after World War II. Very lucky. Very, very lucky. You grew up in a household where Muslim immigrants in Germany was basically unacceptable. Now, I have heard about that. I've watched quite a few documentaries and stuff, so I do know about that kind of stuff. It is really interesting, um, kind of like how much that was a prejudice type situation going on at one point. That's not the line I want. What do you call it in Star Wars or whatever when they're like, this is not the thing you're looking for. There we go. That's the line I want. I have watched some Star Wars. I just haven't watched much. I haven't watched enough to be like allowed to quote on things the way I do. Let's change that. Yeah, Nick gets fucking Megamix 16. That'd be alright. Um, I keep saying this, but I've got no idea whether or not my VODs are going to be allowing me to have this music because I'm pretty sure I've got them separated, but I don't actually know until I finish streaming. You follow one value? Be interested to hear what your value is. Oh, Zula, you're so sleepy, darling. Can't even, can you? She's just so sweet. She's just sitting next to me, next to my keyboard, and she's like in a like little purring stupor. I got out this mink blanket because it's getting closer to winter. So in 1 or 2 more months' time, I'll get out their fuzzy donuts and they can sit in that. Violence is the last resort of the stupid. Agree. I strongly agree with that. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where if you're lower intelligence, like nothing against people that are like of any kind of disabled mindset, I'm not saying that, but like if you're not smart enough to avoid any kind of physical violence or any kind of like war and stuff like that, like you should really have like a lot of like stuff revoked. It's kind of where I want that line to be. Oh, what's the one case? That's about right. Oh, that's too thick. Hmm. Yeah, that's almost. Ah, that is not where I want that to be. Oh, there we go. Well, that second line there. Close enough. It'll do. Um, except in one case, aliens, like outer space aliens, take the approach of humanity, take the approach of human superiority. Interesting. Yeah, no, I get that. I actually believe that if humans actually do encounter aliens at some point, we'd kind of honestly be a little bit too dumb about like approaching them. Like, there's a guarantee that we're just gonna blow them up before we like even figure out what the fuck we're doing with them. Unfortunately, I just kind of like feel like even if we had a chance for like anything happening there, we'll just destroy it ourselves. All right, I don't want the shirt to come up to here, so I can get rid of this line. Sweet. Oh yeah, getting better at this. Oh shit, that is not where I want to put that line. Oh man. I'm glad I gave this program a go. I have not drawn for a very long time. Uh, us or them in most cases, definitely. I definitely feel like this is a conversation I've had like even with my partner. Like I don't know how serious I am about the conversation, but like we're both in the same boat that like in the event that humans discover aliens, like let's just say that they don't discover us before we see them, right? Whether it be in our oceans, on our planet, or in space, wherever, right? I could honestly see humans just flipping their table, going, oh shit, we need guns a blazing first. Like, that's just how I see it. Like, there's literally a really old YouTube video called, what was it? The End of the Earth, I think it is. And it literally just has, like, I think it's like how would the earth end, and it's not about aliens, it's about literally like somebody shoots a missile and then they're all like fuck shit, they're sending missiles, so everybody else just sends their own missiles, and then all of a sudden missiles are like flying around all over the earth and blowing everybody up, apparently except for Australia and some American continent, and all sorts of stuff going on. And yeah, apparently then we have just nuclear winter to deal with. But I absolutely love it. It's such a stupid old video. I have it I literally have it saved. I can't play it while I'm like doing this because it come through my what you call it? Desktop thing. When miscommunication. Exactly. Everybody would be fucked. And you know what? You know it would happen too. Um All right. The only problem with this is that I've kind of like put that on that line, but that's okay. Last time I didn't do this, and this was a problem for me. So, hair ribbon, she's got her tears, her hair outline, and her sad ribbon. Okay. Oh, this outline's just got to be touching that. Is that? No, it's not. Okay. I'll tell you what, let's duplicate this. Or, yeah, okay, duplicate that. Bring it down by one. Let's turn off all these other layers. Let us merge that. Yeah. All right, now it's a part of this layer. Sweet, and I can put that up later. Okay, so what I wanted to do with this is connect the arms to her clothes. Just a little bit more rounded, yeah? Nice. That should be enough, and I should be able to start drawing, like coloring her. I don't need this now. Actually, no, I'll keep it for her tears. I need to figure out how to do that. Yeah, go. Yeah, we are. Um, I always find it interesting because, like, personally myself, I'm not in any sense like politically inclined, but at the same time, like, I know it doesn't fucking matter what I think because the government's still gonna do whatever they feel like doing, which for me is kind of a shame because, like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, I kind of wish that Australia was like, okay, everybody was happy with each other and that nobody wanted to go to war and that, Australia would just be its own goddamn fucking country, you know? But you can only wish so hard. Let me just get this set to colors Outlines color. No, it's not, unfortunately. It's literally like human nature to just fucking destroy each other. And the worst part is like even if you're really, really gentle, like a genuinely soft-hearted, wouldn't hurt anybody, if something is pushed hard enough, if somebody you care about or something you love is hurt, you'll step up. So it's one of those things, unfortunately. Shirt colors. Okay, tears. Oh, that needs to go under there actually. Like colors. You prefer some Americans over. Yeah, well, like I said before, I don't go too deep into politics, but at least I know who you're on about this time. I don't always. Um, yeah, it's mostly like I guess years ago I kind of just stopped caring because it's nothing I can do. Like I vote and stuff like that, right? But whatever I vote for doesn't necessarily end up in power. And even if I have an opinion, it doesn't necessarily happen. Bit hard to talk over this one. Oh, hell yeah, Final Countdown. Now, this is my favorite song. I fucking love this. I'm not just saying that, this is actually my favorite song. Um, you hear about nuclear seal between you guys, Britain and Americans? Or the sub deal? I don't think I did. This is very quiet. Let me know if you guys can still hear it because it's a decent song. Turn it up a little bit. Gonna blow my ears out on next song. There we go. Turn it up by 20, so it's gonna destroy the next one. I don't think I heard about the sub deal. I did hear about um, one of the nations joining with, I think, China and somebody else to have their own world dollar or world currency or something like that. I did see that. Um, yeah, I just generally I stay out of the internets for like political stuff. Hair color. Not gonna work. Yeah, I see it as like there's a couple of countries out there that are extremely strict, and I'm not gonna name them, but I think we all kind of know which ones I'm on about. And they're kind of imploding themselves with their own actions. But, I can only imagine what the next 30 years is going to look like for the world. Because as far as I'm concerned, like the world that I live in right now, it is nowhere near the same as the world that I lived in as a child or a teenager or even like just early 20s and stuff like that. It's not the same. It's not the same by a long shot, and it's almost infuriating in that sense. Cuz yeah, at the same time like what is it going to change to? I can't see it changing to something better. I think is the best way to say it. I also need to bring in a recent file. I need this. Um, I don't know if I can select all layers for this. Maybe? See if I can zoom out. Whoa, that is far too far out. Holy fuck. Should like turn into a dot for a second there. I'll do it. Copy that. See what I can do with this. Bring it in here. New layer. Background? Let's call it background. Cool. All right. Oh my god, it didn't even bring it. Likely to return to complete American homogeneity. So you doubt it'll be there for that. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think in that sense, you might be the lucky one not to be there for that. Like, I just don't see it getting better. I think the thing is, like, even when I was in my early 20s, I couldn't see any time past my 27th birthday being good. And, like, you know, it wasn't even that bad back then. See if I can link these layers. What's this do? What does this do to it? Does that lock it? That lock it or link it? What's it say? Come on, show me a thing. I think America is better than the Russia or Indian. India, not India, China. The Russia or China. Yeah, I think probably in the next few years, either or are going to have like a little bit of a problem. But I do see it being like overall everybody having issues. Because, like, I think, for instance, one of the biggest things that we have in Australia that we kind of tote as being, you know, oh, we can lord over other people with this is we have had free healthcare and now we've got to pay for it, regardless of if we want to see private or not. And people like me who literally do not have an income and have a slew of medical problems, which is why I don't have an income, um, suddenly have a problem seeing a doctor about anything. Like I put off seeing a doctor for an issue for 5 months, and I'm only going to see a dentist in the next within the month, I hope. And I needed to see them back in November. Oh, yeah, let's turn this back down. There we go. Yeah, no, I see. I don't have private, can't afford it. And the funny thing is, the older I get, um, we have a policy in place in Australia that if I if I got private healthcare at 30 or before 30, the amount that I would pay each year would be a consistent amount. However, if I didn't get it at 30 and I got it at 31, I'd be paying the amount plus the extra to cover for the age of 30. If I got it at 35, I'd be covering the amount plus the previous 5 years. If I got it at 40, I'd be paying the amount plus the previous 10 years. So no matter when I fucking get it, it's going to be too expensive to get it. And the thing is, like, if I need to see a doctor emergency for something quick that's legitimately bad, I can pay about $150 and just go to a private emergency room anyway, if I have $150 on me. Ah, I guess this is kind of like why, in a sense, it's so important for me to be getting like my emotes and stuff like that. Because when I become affiliate, I want stuff that people might want to use in exchange for like a few bits. I know that sounds terrible, but it's like if I'm playing games or drawing or something like that and you guys enjoy it, I definitely appreciate it if I got anything thrown towards me and have to worry about money. That's nice. I'm not being patronizing. I'm like, that's genuinely nice that you have that, like old money and stuff like that too. So that's pretty cool. I'm completely cut off from my family. So my parents are quite toxic and they make me actually physically ill. So I end up having to cut them all off because otherwise I would just be constantly on a roller coaster of being sick with my Crohn's disease. And I just can't do that. So I had to make the decision, and they were not in the least bit okay with it, understandably. And made me suffer for a couple of years. Like, I'm hoping soon my cousin might be able to get me. I know it sounds awful, but she might be able to get me into their house to say goodbye to a cat that I grew up with because I'll never get to see him again before he dies. And he's like about 18 years old, and I just not allowed. So, and on top of that, a Merry Christmas to me was that my parents decided to send me a photo of the very cat that I'm not allowed to see. and it was like they took a photo of him looking like he was dead. He was asleep, but he looked like he was dead, and that was absolutely mortifying to me. So, yeah, my family is fucking fantastic. Young When you were a young boy, the end goal of education was going to American universities. Yeah, I could see that. When I was growing up, I was basically told that university was a waste of time and money. And unless I was going to become a doctor, what was the fucking point of going? So I was not allowed to. Well, my my family didn't exactly like pay for my education to go up to year 12, so I wasn't eligible for university in the first place, even though I wanted to go and I wanted to finish year 12. Either way, my family's kind of shit. So, you know, I do miss them. I did love them. I still care about them, but they're just so bad. Um, I just need to see where her face line is. Outlines there. Because her face is kind of cut off there, and I don't know if I cut that off for her hair. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. All right. I know that, like, for a lot of people, getting to go to a university and stuff like that is kind of like the whole goal of education in general. Um, it makes sense. Like, if you're gonna, you know, go to school and potentially get a job, like, okay, I play this through simulations mostly because I haven't had the experience myself, but like my best simulated families in Sims and BitLife went to school, studied hard, got university degrees, and got into really great jobs. It allowed them to cover any kind of medical expenses. It allowed them to look after their family. It it basically like freed them up for a lot of things. Even though the work was hard and stuff, they were paid very nicely for their efforts. And just reading what you said, violence against your principles, but 500 grand in Lockheed Martin is nine. Lockheed Martin. Let me just look up. I don't know what Lockheed Martin is. Hold our horses. Let me look it up. Okay. Oh, aerospace. Oh, that's so cool. I'm just having a quick little read. There's like global security, an aerospace company that employs like so many people worldwide. Engaged in research, design, development, manufacturing, uh, integration, and sustainment of advanced technology systems. That's pretty cool. They work for US military and that sort of thing. Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome though. Like, see, I guess like over here, I don't really know anybody that has like money in their background and stuff like that. Um, it would too. I think that's like one of those things though, is like, um, I guess like you have such a different life and stuff. Like to me, it's absolutely fascinating because I'm like, these are things that I've never even considered. Well, it's not that I've never considered them. It's they've never been a forefront of my attention to like think of or look at and stuff. So it's very cool to know about. I don't want that line there. I was wondering, there'd be so many companies at the moment that are either like going up or fluctuating down substantially so much. Like I was looking at it the other day and where was I? Somebody It was at some kind of entertainment thing I walked past and they had just literally like a tub of sanitizers and stuff like that that